After having successfully aided the village bakers with his rat problem, you and your party decided to go have one last drink before setting off on your next adventure. You decide upon a cozy tavern near the Stallion Boulevard. A quaint little place, hunting trophies and tapestries decorate the walls, and the smell of ale and grilled meat fills the air. Laughter and conversations of the patrons adds to the charm of the rustic pub. As you walk through the door, you catch a glimpse of some of the more odd-looking customers sitting at the round wooden chairs and tables. A half-elven bard swooning the men and ladies with their songs and poetries from lands afar. A fair-haired dwarf, stocky and hunched over, playing cards whilst scanning the room, on the lookout for troublemakers. What do you do?
Is there anyone else in the tavern?
Make a perception check.
16.
In the far corner, you see two ordinary dudes talking and drinking a warm, dark broth.
Ooh, warm dark broth?
Yeah, they have no other defining features whatsoever.
Yeah, I want to go talk to those guys.
Yeah, of course you go talk to them. Alright, you go over and you sit down at their table. Slightly taken aback, they look at you, back at each other, clear their throat and say, hi, welcome to the podcast.
Why, hello.
Hi, my name's Izzy.
Hi, my name is Mathias, and we both are DMs.
Yes, we're dungeon masters playing the old Dungeons and Dragons and other role-playing games. And we decided to start a podcast to spread our enthusiasm of the game.
Because, in this time of hardship and in the world, the one thing the world needs is just two more dudes making another podcast.
Yeah, just two dudes drinking and sipping coffee. Ching, by the way.
Ching chings.
So yeah, the premise of this podcast would be just we sit around, talk about our thoughts and feelings about certain subjects. Everything Dungeons and Dragons, really.
This first episode is going to be like a bit different because you guys don't know us, so we're probably going to talk a bit more about ourselves than D&D.
Yeah.
First.
I'll start. So I'm Izzy. I'm 25. I study social work, and I'm a youth worker. I work with teens and whom I have introduced to Dungeons and Dragons as well. So I've created my little nerd army, as to say. And I have a cat named Damien, and he's sitting right behind me here, with his back towards me, as cats do. But he's a very loving cat, and I love him dear.
So I'm Mathias. I am actually a programmer during the daytime, and at night I am a dashing rogue or a dangerous DM. So I guess we're going to talk about how we got into D&D to start with?
Yeah, of course.
So Izzy, how did you get into D&D?
Well, Mathias, I've been interested in like miniature models my whole life. I've found it. I always thought it was very nice to see like the little houses and puppets and the dioramas of little things with the trains and such driving around. I always thought that was cool. Add that with a bit of fantasy, Lord of the Rings. I'm a huge sucker for Lord of the Rings. I've been ever since I was a kid. I was running around with sticks and bows and like playing in the woods and stuff with bows and sticks, just doing my own Lord of the Rings kid stuff, hitting trees and going on adventures. It was great, and now to be able to do that in a safer format with friends and beer. I mean, and coffee, of course,
with way less bruises.
Yeah, well, depends on when you throw the dice. Like. Your fireballs hit hard, man. So yeah, that's like the great thing. Video games as well, like the almighty Skyrim and Oblivion were big parts of that as well. So yeah, that was years ago. I think when I was 17, I started my first venture into the world of D&D. I gathered a couple of friends. We had one D20, no other dice, just one D20, and we just rolled with it, and it was great. They destroyed a tavern. It was great. What about you, Mathias?
Well, I was already studying at university when a friend of mine just happened by. His name is Izzy.
What?
He suddenly said like, "Hey, you want to play D&D?" And I was like, not really. I didn't really know what kind of nerd I was. I knew I was a nerd, just didn't know which one. So my first adventure into role-playing was Skyrim, where I modded the hell out of the game until it crashed, and then removed one more mod until it was just barely playable. Where I basically made myself in just a very annoying fantasy setting. Like, what the hell is going on? I don't understand what is happening. And yeah, that was my introduction into role-playing, and I also used that character to make my first character in your campaign.
Yes.
Which is Hyperion Brunel.
Yes.
A dashing rogue.
With a habit of stabbing bitches. No, just stabbing people who annoy him, and frankly, everything annoys him. So I like it.
Yeah, there's a lot of violence in that character.
Yeah.
And I kind of progressed from player into DM over the years.
Yes.
And now actually it rarely happens that I am player again, but I really enjoy being a DM actually.
Yeah, it's the curse of being a DM, right? Like, oh, you DM? Can you run a game for us? Sure. Yeah, I've got. It's not like I've got things planned like anything, but I
don't have a social life. That's okay.
And you're sitting at the table, and you're like, all right, which one of my 15,000 one shots will I play with them? Like, it's.
Yeah, I have experienced that running multiple campaigns in the same worlds is just like hell. I think it would be easier to just have multiple worlds for every campaign.
Yeah. Or just do like I do, and like say there's like 400 to 800 years between both campaigns, so that if one of the campaigns fucks up, the other one doesn't. So.
Yeah, but do not underestimate the power of players.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And is Hyperion is your only character or no?
No, I have a few characters. I also have a pyromaniac pyromancer.
Mm-hmm.
He's called Ashenus, and I think this is one of the most overpowered characters I have ever created.
Oh yeah.
Well, Hyperion is also pretty overpowered.
Yeah, he was a good guy. He is a good guy, still alive, I hope.
Who knows? Who knows?
Well, I know because that okay. No.
Yeah, like I made all these characters. They turn out pretty powerful, but at the time I made these characters, I had no idea what I was doing. So I guess it's just pure luck, knowing how to build a character, I guess.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, we put our focus not necessarily on the combat or statistics side of D&D, not the meta side. We've grown to play our games with really a deep appreciation for role playing, and I think that's the thing that we like most about it, because it just adds to that escapism of Dungeons and Dragons, you know? The fact that we can like just crawl into the skin of this other character and just live in his world and have his memories and ideas, and I think that's one of the beauties, the true things that are magical in this world is like that, just your imagination and fantasy, and to be able to share that with people is great.
That is also why Hyperion is a human, because I know how to be a human.
Yeah.
So I can maximally focus on role-playing situations that occur without having to think, like, how would an elf think about this? Or how would a Huan Ti try to devour this creature in front of me?
Yeah.
Like, I can just be myself. And Hyperion is in almost completely just 100% how I would react in situations.
Yeah. Like the way you stab guys when you don't like them.
Yeah, I do. This is why in my personal life I do not carry any knives, just to prevent this.
He stabbed him with sick insults.
Oh, I am sharp-tongued during the days.
Yeah, so I have a couple of characters I play as well. One I'm very fond of, who is the main character I play, let's say, in one of Mathias or Mathias's games. Miko, a little kobold with a very annoying voice like this, and he's a sorcerer. is a very in tune with his draconic lineage, and he likes to let people know that he's part dragon. So that's Miko for you. Yeah.
Yeah, we really made like an entire region in both the new and the old worlds just because of this character.
Yeah.
Which is the cool thing is when the world isn't really made yet and players come to you with ideas, you can just roll with it.
It's fun to like. I always ask the players to write their backstory, or just even if it's just a couple of sentences. It always helps with world building. When a player says, I want to be from that country, I want to be like this race, then I say, all right, there's a couple of countries that, I mean, let's say you're a human. I've got a couple of human-based countries in my world. We all play homebrew, by the way, just to add that there. And they're totally different countries. Like the one is like more Holy Roman Empire and Bahamut Savel, like the Deus Vult of their society. The other one is more like a Roman Empire-ish with the Senate and such. And then another one is just like the Huns.
Cool one.
Yeah, like the steppe and there's.
Oh no, still another one.
Yeah, and still another one. Yeah, then the humans of Sega, where Hyperions are from, and that's like a you could say Mediterranean mid-era medieval Irish society. I mean, it's fantasy, man. Like it's their own society. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's cool. Like when you don't have a region as fleshed out as you want it to, you can always just leave it and have the players bring their own thoughts and ideas to just bring it to life, you know.
I have the habit, if I have like a region that I think like, hey, I really should have written something about this already, and I don't have the motivation to write about it, is to say to people like, hey, I've got a one-shot in region X.
Yeah.
The problem is I don't have a one-shot in region X, and I don't have region X yet.
Yeah.
But because there's a deadline now, I make this entire region a thing. I write lore for buildings and people in them. I can put that into my World Anvil pages, which is basically like a wiki for Dungeons and Dragons worlds. Or whichever role-playing thing you want to do, or if you want to write a book or whatever. They do not sponsor us, by the way.
No, but please do.
please do.
we can use the monies for the thing.
You know, coffee is expensive.
Yeah. But yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, there's this dread of like, oh shit, I don't want to like fall out and be like the guy who's not prepared. Like, it's okay to be. It's okay to not have anything prepared and just wing it. I mean, that's great if you're able to do that. That's great. When you run a roleplay heavy campaign like we do, it's most of the time players do like look at the little things and try to ask about like political intrigue, or what's the barkeep's name, like Dinkle McDinkleson. But you know, you don't want to do that. You want to you can do it. I mean, no one's gonna fault you for it, but it's always nice to have something prepared, I think. And when you do have that deadline, like, oh shit, I need to do it today or tomorrow, we won't have a good session. So yeah, I understand that drive to make
that also ties into like the Matt Mercer effect, but I think we're gonna keep that for another time.
Yeah, that's a whole topic on itself.
We can talk about that for a long time. And now for a word of our sponsor. Hello, my name is Keruden. Have you heard of Kairoden's General Store?
No.
Oh well, let me tell you about Kairoden's General Store. You can go in, there is self-service, you can take whatever you want, and then once you have everything you want to buy, you can just go come to the counter and we will check what you have and give you a price for it. Very cheap, and we already have 5 different stores worldwide.
Wow, so Kairoden Store?
No Kairoden Store.
Kairoden Store?
No, you know what, never mind. Please, come to our shop, we have good stuff.
Let's go to one of our segments named Bestiary. Hey, so in this segment we talk about a beast or a creature that we want to talk about, and I think the creature that is on today's list is none other than the vampire, because we each run several campaigns, and we each have had encounters, or the players have had encounters with vampires or creatures of the like, and we thought it was a great starter because we're into the topic already, so we might as well talk about it.
We've been talking about this for hours yesterday already, so I guess we can just do it again today.
Yeah, I've written down the script of everything we said yesterday, so we can just repeat now. Yeah, so vampires, man. I love it. Vampires. Vampires. I sincerely love vampires. Like there's something just cool about them. With all due respect, not the Twilight-ish vampires, but I'm talking about the Bram Stoker Dracula, like the daddy of all vampires, I call him. He's Have you seen the movie with Gary Oldman, who plays I think it's a movie, I think in the 80s, I think somewhere in the 80s. It's a movie with Keanu Reeves in one of his earlier roles. Yeah.
I'm going to get called out so many times on this podcast because I rarely watch movies. So no, I have not seen that movie.
Well. Let me enlighten you. Bram Stoker is he's a writer, and he was the man, I think, who wrote the original Dracula. The book about the vampire we all know and love, with the castle and stuff in Transylvania. Is a pretty good movie. It gets crazy at times, but it really shows that charming, steals your girl type vampire, and he's the type of vampire I really like, because I think, in my opinion, it's the Strad von Zarovich esque type. Like you can talk with him, he can go into dialogue, but he can whoop your ass. He's a pretty cool vampire as to have as a template to have. But there are other vampires as well. So that's the
one thing I really like about vampires is it is most definitely an undead creature of the night who will just wreck you.
Yeah.
But it is a monster with grace.
Yeah.
In my campaign, I have given a level 2 party with 3 members their first encounters with vampires already, but not really directly. Like they make the party fear this opponent. That's how I like to run vampires, at least. Like, show them who this is, show them what kind of damage this person can do in this campaign. The vampire is literally taking it up against the god, because they start to get in like the level of skill and knowledge that they are smart enough and strong enough to actually put up a fight against divine beings.
How many vampires
There is one vampire lord.
Yeah.
And he has turned his entire ship, because he used to be part of a pirate crew.
Yeah.
Vampirates, actually.
Nice.
And the head pirate got his head blown off, blood spilled, so the vampire Spawn, which he was, drank the blood of his overlord and became its own vampire, and promptly killed his own master to become the master of the ship. Then he took his battered ship to this island, we call it Tontuna, and he started just taking over the place with 50 crew members. All of them are vampires. And they slowly corrupted the island and shaped it to their will. The players not really knowing what's really happening. They're new to the game. We have one completely new player. And by the time they really noticed what was going on, it was already too late. And this is how I love the vampire. Very intricate, very web weaving, not showing his hands too early. And when he did show his hands, the island was his.
Way to break the cliche, man. Like the vampirates, it's so cool. It's such a neat idea. Like the thought of just a bunch of vampires.
They're basically vampires
basically
vampires on the run somewhat.
Yeah.
Like you don't become a pirate as an almighty being.
No.
But now they have settled on the island and they're making it their home, and the players, which hopefully are listening, are having to become stronger so they can come back and take their island back from this vampire. But in the meanwhile, the vampire is not gonna do nothing, of course. He's gonna be busy. He's gonna be lifting weights.
Yeah, and the thing is about vampires is like, in my thoughts, I think like of cursed bloodlines, like such as vampires and lycanthropes. They have like their own little society because they are shunned of most of other societies. So they have their own like underground or even above ground, but like underneath the table, like like veiled in a web of intrigue or politics, but they have their own like wars that they wage with other cursed bloodlines, such as like the werewolves and the other lycanthropes or cursed bloodlines. I think you can go so many ways with vampires. It's just I love it. Like it's an all around great monster to throw at your players.
And something cool like with vampires as well, or at least that's how I do it. Not really sure if it's officially like that. The vampires don't really like each other at all. If they meet another vampire, they're not going to be like, oh, hello, welcome.
You mean from another like vampires? Who are,
just like one vampire Lord A meets vampire Lord B. They're not going to get along.
Yeah.
Which also leads for possible interesting intrigue. I haven't explored this yet, but I might because it really seems interesting.
Yeah, it's as I said, it's a whole another level beneath the intrigue of the overall world, and they have to like blend in and try to do stuff without like the people trying to discover their secret or something. You can go so many ways. So cool. But speaking of like being underground and being a vampire in the normal world, which like famous person do you think would be a vampire? Like if you could see like, I think that guy might be a vampire. Like I can see him being a vampire in the real world.
I have the best possible thing that would be amazing if this were a thing. Imagine all the royalty of old Europe being vampires, and they're just hiding it.
Shit, yeah. Oh damn, that's cool.
So the queen is actually a vampire, which explains why she has been on the throne for so long.
She keeps the corgis just to drink their blood.
Maybe the corgis are just death hounds. You don't know that.
She can command the corgis to summon a pack of corgis.
And some people found out, and that is why there is almost no kingdoms left, because they've been replaced by republics.
Yo, that's pretty. Yeah, that's Damn, that's like a whole campaign setting on its own. Like, that's crazy.
Saying this, by the way, all praise King Philip.
All praise to King
Sir,
Philip.
we do not believe you're a vampire. Please, please don't hurt us.
Philip of Belgique. Yeah, that's a great theory. I mean, that's Let's see.
It's not a theory, but how cool would it be?
Yeah. But let's see some fan theories about that. Like, that I think
leave us a comment. About this.
What do you think? Who do you think is like probably, certainly, and definitely a vampire? A vampire. I have a small list here with people I think that can be vampires. One is Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd is I don't know if you know him. He's an actor.
No, I don't.
He was on Friends years ago. And,
Oh, okay.
he's
Yeah.
recently, recently, a couple of years ago now, he's the actor who plays Ant-Man in Marvel's cinematic universe. Yeah, but the guy just looks the same. Like he hasn't aged in 20 years, which is impossible, I think. So that's the thing. Give me a vampire, as well as Keanu Reeves. I mean, same goes with him. I think everybody knows like Keanu is probably the best human being there is, but to praise the memes, right? But I can see him being. He's got that gothic like badassness, mystery around him, you know.
And no one said a vampire has to be.
Yeah,
evil,
that's
right?
the thing, right?
They can just do their thing.
Well, that ties into another thing, right? I think.
Well, the monster manual says they are supposed to be lawful
Yeah,
evil,
but I mean, paladins are supposed to be lawful good as well. But I mean, you can totally make a chaotic evil character, or just a true neutral. I mean, that's the thing about D&D. The things are guidelines. You know, you don't have to do that. You don't have to. But like, a gold dragon does not necessarily need to be good. You know. This, but the other actor, I think, or celebrity rather, I think that could be a vampire, and I just this person just speaks to me. Like, I have so much respect for him, but having seen him in Silence of the Lambs, and like the eeriness he can bring, Sir Anthony Hopkins, I think, would be such a good vampire, like a vampire overlord or something. I mean.
I'm like really bad with names, so I just looked him up, and yes, indeed. Plus he is Welsh, so there's no possible reason that he.
Plus, funny fact: Keanu Reeves and Anthony Hopkins both starred in Bram Stoker's Dracula. So they were both like hunting the vampire. This is just a fun fact, like, but yeah, it's it was like just a little topic I wanted to add in there with the Beast Cherry, like.
Yeah, one extra person I think that really should have been on your list when you started about this is Greta Thunberg. Because, you know, there was like this picture that was released of a child in Sweden in 1920 that looked exactly like her.
Yeah.
And vampires do not age, so...
Oh, damn. Okay. That's,
that might be...
That's food for thought, yeah. Types.
So
vigorously.
Now it is confirmed climate change is a hoax led by a vampire plot to undermine the economy.
Oh man.
If you want me to invent more conspiracy theories, I am at your disposal.
Well, it's got to be a whole new segment on its own, theory segment or something like. Speaking of segments, what a nice segue. We have probably our favorite segment of all.
Yes, this is something that every time that Izzy and I are in a car together, we have this one thing we always do to keep ourselves entertained while we're driving. And that is we invent magical items. Yes. But not just magical items.
Oh, no.
Magical items that were created by...
the god of minor inconveniences.
So these are useful items, kind of.
Yeah.
That are also rather...
Well, they're items.
Inconvenience at the same time.
They're items or objects, yeah. But are they useful? Kind of.
I think they're kind of useful.
They can be useful.
Annoying.
Yeah, they're just They specifically they're created to be annoying as hell. My favorite one was when we were in Fantasia Land, I think. Was it Fantasia Land? Yeah.
Yeah.
When we came up with the cart.
Yeah, I was also going to mention that one.
Ah, please do. It's all yours, buddy.
Imagine, dear party, dear hero, that you receive a enchanted cart. A cart that will move on its own, no horses required. But it will always move at a speed of 5 feet. And it will always move at the speed of 5 feet. There's no way of stopping it. It always keeps rolling.
It goes slow as heck, but it always goes.
And it's free transportation, right? It can carry so much stuff. You could just however much you could pile onto the cart, you can carry it. It's just very slow.
And it cannot go faster than like if you want to push it. If you try to push it, it won't go faster.
Yeah, it won't go faster.
Oh man.
That's just it.
That's the kind of shenanigans the God of Minor Inconveniences is into. So in this segment we talk about these items that we invent on the road in the car or just on the spot right here. So if there are things, Matthias, that you think are akin to the Lord of Minor Inconveniences.
Yeah, like one thing I was thinking about, but I don't really have it completely worked out with, is like a dice that always rolls well, except when there is money on
the table
table for it. So you want me to roll 6 right now? Here you go, 6. There you go, 6. Always 6. Always whatever you want, except when you need it.
Yeah. Oh, that's yeah. Well, you can do shenanigans with that, right? Like let another person roll the dice. Then
yeah, but it will work for him. It's not his magical item.
Oh, right. Okay. That's cool.
So
yeah,
it's less annoying than the cards, but hey.
Well, yesterday we talked about like a band or a ring or a choker or a circlet, whatever, that makes you have permanent tongues cast upon you. So
that was amazing.
The spell that makes you be able to speak and understand every language that is spoken. For example, if you did not know how to speak Dwarvish in Dungeons and Dragons before, with the circlet or the band, you are able to speak and understand perfectly Dwarvish. But every time you speak, you have the feeling that you have to sneeze. You know, the feeling like that, but constantly.
You are never going to sneeze.
Yeah, you're not going to sneeze, but you always have the feeling that you are going to sneeze, and it won't stop until you shut up. So that's handy, I guess.
That could lead to very interesting diplomacy with a mighty dwarven king.
Could you imagine like a Congress or something, like the United Nations or something? Like just the whole. Oh boy.
I think it would be way more entertaining, and I think a lot of more people would be watching the United Nations conference.
Oh yes,
if everybody was making these faces all the time.
Like, I'd sit there with my popcorn or something, just enjoying the show and having a laugh.
Yeah, like
having a laugh.
Hang out with some friends, grab a few beers, and just put on the show.
Put on the show. Right. So do we invent one on the spot right now, or maybe we think of an item? I'll tell you an item, and you tell me an item.
Ooh. All right.
I've got one for you. You have a teaspoon.
Okay, I have a teaspoon that automatically heats whatever you scoop up with it. Ooh. So if you have cold soup or something, you grab a teaspoon. It heats the soup in your spoon. But what is the but? It starts boiling violently.
Shite. Okay. Yeah, that's that can be hard. That can be tough.
But it could be useful as well.
Yeah, that can be useful, totally useful. But it's also a teaspoon, so it's small.
It's also not a lot. Yeah.
You can't like use it to intimidate people. Like, watch out! I'm gonna use it. What? It's just a small spoon in your hand. Okay, what's my item?
You have a pencil.
A pencil. Okay. It's a pencil, but every time you write with it, it becomes flaccid. So it becomes like just like a spaghetti noodle.
Cooked spaghetti noodle, yeah.
Yeah, cooked spaghetti noodle. So you start to write, and after like a split second, it just droops, and you can still try and write with it, but
what's the advantage? Like,
it never runs out, so you can you can always write like a pencil or like a quill or something. Like you can always it will never run out. You never have to sharpen it. Only downside, it gets flaccid whenever you use it. So
yeah, that's a pretty good one. That's a pretty good one.
Yes. So if you have ideas for the God of Minor Inconveniences, just drop it down below, or just let us know. We're keen on learning new ways to torture our parties. So yeah.
It's not torture. It's just a minor inconvenience.
Yes. Oh, that's like a good like slogan for the castle. It's not torture, it's just minor inconvenience.
All right, good. I think we've got quite a lot today. I think we can head us out.
Yeah.
So, mighty adventurer, thank you for having your talk with us. Please do leave a like, a comment, and please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, or write us a review on iTunes, or tell your grandmother about us.
Yeah, anyone who's able to listen to a podcast and who you think might enjoy, just two dudes talking, drinking coffee, let us know. And if you have any ideas for things to talk about, just hit us up. Bye.